Hello, everyone, and welcome to SCORE Fairfield County's live webinar on how small business can thrive in 2022. I'm Tim Ryan, the webinar coordinator and a business mentor here at SCORE Fairfield County, and I'll be your host. Our speaker today is Anastasia Vladychynska. More on our speaker in just a minute. First, some brief info on SCORE. About 300 offices and 11,000 volunteers nationwide. We're part of the Small Business Administration. SCORE Fairfield County has over 100 volunteers with a wide range of industry, process, and subject matter expertise. We offer 3 primary value-added services to small business owners: free one-on-one counseling, which can be accessed via the Request Mentor link on our website or via the link on the screen. Educational workshops and webinars, we put on over 150 per year. And a third, we have extensive resources on our website, such as Word and Excel templates to help with your business plan. Some useful info on today's event. If you have any questions, please use the chat window at any time during the presentation. It is located in the lower part of your screen. Our webinar will end at 1 p.m. to respect your time. The session is being recorded, and the link to the recording will be available at fairfieldcounty.score.org within the next couple of days. Now our speaker. Anastasia Vladychynska comes to us as a certified customer experience consultant, helping top-tier brands like Max Mara, Kenzo, McDonald's, multinational banks, and other types of companies to reinvent their employee and customer experience. She teaches customer experience in New York City, London, Brussels, and in Eastern Europe. She sees her mission as changing the world with good service. I'll turn it over now to Anastasia. Anastasia, it's all yours.
Hi, Tim. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me. I really appreciate this time, guys, because I know there are so many webinars, seminars, and other NARs out there, but you have chosen this. And, thank you so much for coming to SCORE. I'm sure you will get diamonds today. Okay, now, the only thing that is hard for me is I'm used to this. I'm used to virtual surrounding, but I'm not used to people not writing anything in chat. So if you could please write anything, say, hi, I am from this company. And actually, it would be very helpful for me to know which company you're from. You don't have to say the name of the company, but at least what you do, so that when I give examples, those examples are suitable to your business. So please, I can see the chat. Just tell me how you're feeling today from a scale of, 1 to 10, how you're feeling today. Please, let me see. Is the chat even working? Working. Okay, artist from Stanford. Nice. Who else? Who else? Let's see. E-commerce. Okay. Okay, doing great. Hi. Awesome. Yes, because and keep that chat going, please, because that's the only way for me to know if I'm going too slow, too fast, if you're understanding me at all, So thank you so much. Dentist here. Good. You guys can feel safe because we have doctors over here. Awesome. Okay. Drive the goal. Nice. Career coach. Cool. Thank you so much. Now, the reason I'm asking you, because I'm going to give you examples from offline settings, online settings, e-commerce, non-e-commerce. Please, use it all to your own judgment. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's see. Yes. So, who I am? I've already been introduced. Several things you can see on the slide. I'm not going to take time repeating them. Now, something that you probably don't know is that I'm also a judge at the World's Customer Centricity Awards. So I actually judge the best companies out there that have initiated something great in terms of customer or employee experience. That means I have access to the best of the information for you guys. And today, my whole idea is to just share what I know, we've been using was those big names. But my whole idea is for you to kind of steal little things the big names are doing right now, so that you can apply them into your businesses. And by the way, it doesn't matter if it's a small business, if you're just an entrepreneur, really, it doesn't matter. So, yeah, and my background is Ukrainian. I split my time between Ukraine and New York City. So at this time, I am in Ukraine, in Kiev. So guys, you can pray because we don't know what's going on. But yeah, we'll see. Now, what I wanted to share with you as well was that, now we work with those big names that you can see over here. By the way, J-Bill is Fortune 500, huge global names. However, it wasn't always like that. And I'm going to show you the story, which I hope will inspire you. At the same time, I want you to know, because I also own a company that is a consulting business that is helping other businesses, of course. But what I'm going to teach you today isn't just what we are teaching to those big names. We are using it in our lives as well, and in our work with customers as well. And I want you to see the results it has brought to our business as well. Okay, so this is me, young, crazy, beautiful. Now I'm, only maybe beautiful, but so yeah, this was me, my first job, and 2005 or something. And I knew nothing about customer experience at that time. Today, I have the luxury of all the knowledge. You could see I am certified, 1, 2, 3 things, global speaker, blah, blah, blah. At that point, I knew nothing about customer service, customer experience, how to be successful with your customers. I knew nothing, but I had a position of corporate sales manager, and I felt like we needed to satisfy our clients. And I'm sure that all of you here, you're like, that's basics, right? Now, I also felt like I was putting down fires all the time because, when I was providing great service, my employees were not sometimes, right? So I was like, okay, there should be a system in there, right? There should be a system. There should be something that I could feel like I'm designing it and not just, following each customer who is not satisfied, because that's a drag, right? So this was me, but with all that, I would even say intuitive thinking, intuitive work with clients, I was able to get crazy results in terms of retention rates. Okay. And so, and my peers started asking, like, how do you do that? And the answer was, I don't know, because really, I know that some people here are providing great customer service, customer experience. They know, how to be successful with your clients. But if I ask you, like, what's the methodology, you probably won't be able to say it. Am I right or am I right? I'm sure. So today, from that point, guys, I'm known as the woman who has started a customer service revolution in the country where the word serve does not exist. Now, I don't know if you're laughing right now because I don't see you on cameras, but really, there's no word serve in the language, okay? And, but with all the knowledge that I had, and as you saw, I've studied everything I could, all kinds of methodologies. I finished the Customer Experience Executive Academy. It was a year of training. And I was able to put that into the company where I was there, and my background, by the way, is travel and tourism years ago. Now we work with everybody else, like, medicine, restaurants, who else? You saw those companies, McDonald's, Max, Kenzo, it doesn't matter actually. But today, I'm not only influencing the country, but now globally. Why? Because I had this big mission. I know about you, but I hate when companies treat their employees and customers the bad way. Okay. And now I know the system that helps those companies, and those big names, by the way, are paying finally attention to what they're doing with their clients. Now, today I'm going to show you the beautiful system. Remember, I told you I was looking for the system, the beautiful system, the methodology that we are using to teach those big names. Now, before you get discouraged thinking, okay, but we don't have that budget, we don't have that marketing money, blah, blah, blah. No, please know that I'm using this in our business, and we're a small business. We're 5 to 10 people. We're not many people. So, but this works everywhere. Okay. Now, something else that I wanted to share, and I hope this inspires you, because I was like, I had Before I had no knowledge. I only could cover, my own company. That was it. But now, I'm a speaker everywhere in different countries. I write articles, all of that, New York City, Brussels, again, New York City, I'm the judge. The only reason why I'm telling you this is, number one, that I have knowledge and experience from different spheres and different countries. So I can tell you the difference between American customer experience, between European, between Eastern European, between Asian. So this is going to help you today. And I want you to use my knowledge today, okay? I'm in no way trying to say I know something better than you guys do. I do teach MBA students, yes, executives from different companies. But again, I only can share what I know, okay? So please, if you feel like there is a thought that you haven't thought before of, or there is an insight, or there is something you agree or disagree upon, please put that into the chat, okay? Yes. Now, also, before you think, oh my gosh, she's only teaching those big companies, how does that apply to my business? My husband and I, a year ago, we opened a little pizza place. So even there, we are using the same stuff we teach to those big customers. So please, rest assured that you're going to have the best of the best, but also something that is very applicable, okay? So back to the subject. How can small businesses thrive in 2022? Now, before we think how we can thrive, we have to understand the trends right now. And I'm going to show you 5 trends. And by the way, before you start, I don't know if you're putting down stuff, but I highly recommend you putting down some stuff or taking pictures, because everything I'm going to show you today is going to come together as a puzzle, okay? Before, in the first part, I will give you some trends. Then I will give you what I call little quick advice and tips that you can use right away. And then by the end, I will show you the system, how you can systematize your customer experience, your work with customers, so that you feel like, oh my gosh, this is doable, this is easy, and I can do this. Does that sound like a plan or not? Tell me. Does that sound good? Plus, yes, no, maybe. Okay, let's go. Guys, you're so supportive. Thank you so much. Okay, let's go. So remember the trends first. So my husband and I, we are now remodeling the house. And we were thinking, okay, so some stuff will be custom made. We will have to wait for it forever. That's okay. But then some stuff like couches for the guest room and, and some beds for guest rooms, we can just go to IKEA and buy them, right? Wrong, guys. I don't know. Do you have any experience buying stuff right now in IKEA? Like, we came in, we were like, okay, so this is the couch. And before, so again, think of what customers are used to. Customers are used to several things that have become like a tradition. Like, you need furniture, you go to IKEA or whatever you're going to, right? So that was our thinking. We come to IKEA, we see the red tag, and we're like, okay, so that's probably on sale. No, it means out of stock. Almost everything that we looked at IKEA was out of stock. So now, if you're a small business, you probably know that when those huge companies are lacking something, that's where small businesses step in, right? Yes, because there are several things, huge companies are like big ship. They cannot move right away. They cannot change that fast. And you can. There's always this niche that is left by big companies for small businesses. So trend number 1, everything is out of stock. Okay, so keep that in mind. Trend number 2, have you seen this chart? You probably haven't, because, I have this professional deformation and I'm looking at stuff that the majority of people, normal people, don't look at. But this is the national ACSI score, American Customer Satisfaction Index. And if you can look at this chart, you will see that it is the level of customer satisfaction in the States is the lowest for the last 15 years right now, for the last 15 years. So here's the second trend. Bad customer experience everywhere. And again, bad customer experience from who? Mostly from big companies. And you know that, from big corporations. So now this sparks an idea for small businesses as well, right? If they cannot provide this great customer experience, then maybe we can, okay? Now, why is this customer satisfaction so low? I am giving you not all the reasons, but some of the reasons. You can see them on the slide. I'm not going to repeat them because I don't want to take your time. But You probably heard about those. Employee burnout, poor hiring, high turnover, staff shortage, only technical training. Only technical training means what? An employee comes into your organization, you're like, okay, come sit down and, I'm going to give you this workbook, just read it right away, read the policy, know how to work with our customers, or, know the system, know the menu, know the products we are selling. Now, companies, especially big companies, are guilty of that. And probably some of us are guilty as well of only giving technical training to our employees. Why? Because we don't have the time, as usual. We don't have the time, so we give the technical training. Thus, we don't have the level of the customer success that we want it to be, right? So these, just keep in mind, I'm sure you know them, but they're nicely structured for you to understand where you can step in, right? Where you can say, okay, big companies cannot do this. It's very hard for them. Now, for me, I can probably do something with that, right? Okay, now, the number of Americans quitting their jobs, that's trend number 3. If I'm not mistaken. Yes, you know that as well. And this, by the way, this is not a heart X-ray. This is the real thing. It's scary. We all know that. But think about this. Why are people quitting their jobs? Of course, you probably can find tons of research about that. Tons of research. But being frank with you, I'm going to be like blunt with you today. Okay. Judging from all the customers that we work with, I see that people mostly leave the companies because they don't like you. They don't like, when I say you, I mean us, okay? They don't like the company. And yes, there could be other reasons, but the majority of people, they're just like, guys, we don't like it. That's why we're gonna change you for something else. Now, by the way, they're not just resigning for nothing, right? People are leaving and then changing their jobs. And so they are actually finding other jobs. I know this is much deeper than this. I know, guys, but that's the thought. Okay. Now, the next trend is this. Have you noticed that our customers, clients everywhere, in every business, in every country, have become more sensitive than before the pandemic? Who has noticed it? Please tell me. Is it just me? I'm looking at the chat now. Is it just me? The customers are more sensitive? No, you haven't? Yes. Okay. Yeah, it could depend. Sensitive meaning that they stress out from little things. Why? Because the time even calls this the pandemic of customer rudeness. And you probably saw Fox News just covered a story where 2 customers had a fight with an employee of a Burger King. Why? Because of the slow service. Now, I know that happens usually. It's nothing new, but what we are seeing from our customers is that they just become not so patient anymore. Probably that's the word, patient or tolerant with the bad service. And you know why? I'm sure you know why, because there's there's so many options out there, and also because there is pandemic and everything, and they're not sure about their future. So this is another trend. And if your employees are telling you, gosh, I don't know how to work with those customers because it's hard. It's hard for them emotionally. Then please tell them that it's not about them. It's about the global trend. And I'm telling you, it's the same everywhere. Like, I worked in Paris when last November. They have the same issues, guys. So these issues are global. Now, what I see from those trends is that companies react differently to those trends. There are different reactions, okay? What I mean by that is that some companies say this. They say it's better to lose a sale than a reputation. They don't just say it, they actually live it out. What it means is that they would say, we will, if we know that we cannot provide the great product for you on time, we would rather lose the sale. Now, I know it's a scary thought for some of you, but this is a much better way to handle the trends that you just saw than taking in each and every order from the customer and then saying, okay, we'll see how it goes. If we can't ship on time, we will ship on time. If we can't ship, we won't ship. Because you have to understand it's COVID time. No, guys, this does not work like this. No, it does work for some companies. I'm sure it does. But for the long term, it will just kill your business. Some companies would use those signs as you see right now. You've probably seen those on Facebook, on LinkedIn, everybody's liking them. I'm not so sure about those signs, by the way. We will talk, if we have time today, we're going to talk about peripheral customer experience. Peripheral means that all those signs, negative signs, they usually influence our customers, and without them even realizing it. So if you have ever had a customer who is angry at you right away, sometimes it's because that peripheral customer experience is bugging them, and they don't even realize what is bugging them, but this could be as well, right? So we are trying to take all that away from our customers. I'm not so sure about that sign, because really what it says is, we still want to make sales, we still want to make money, guys, but sorry, we are short-staffed. So you have to be patient, because we're not going to provide the 100 experience that you want, and we have this excuse. So again, two ways to handle this. Some companies do not take responsibility for that, and some companies say, no, we'd rather not accept the sale. Now, I know there could be negotiations about this this brand right now, but if you have paid close attention to what Chick-Fil-A is doing now, they, in some places, they closed the dining inside the restaurant and kept the drive-through, because they know that they cannot serve you inside, but still they can serve you, outside, because they don't have so many, they don't have to employ so many people for that. In some places, they have cut their menu, so we can only order the things that they are sure they can provide you. Okay, if they're not sure, they will, they don't give you the whole menu. They don't give you all the options, because they know that they probably will not be able to have all the products for that, right? So this is also a nice way to still be successful with your customers and not use COVID as an excuse. Okay, so remember I told you that we would have the trends. Then we will talk about what you can do with those trends right away, and then I'll show you the system. Okay, so tip number one, from what you have just heard, the 1, 2, 3, 4 trends: the logistics crisis, the supply chain crisis. I was just giving a speech for who was it? Porsche, Volkswagen, Mazda, Audi, BMW, somebody else. So they wanted a speech on how do you sell a product when there is no product. Okay, and if you're following that business, that it's gone nuts, because everything is sold before they even bring everything into the country. So number one, judging from those trends, if you want to be successful in the next year, and it really doesn't matter which year, but this year for sure, please do set realistic expectations. Even if you cringe inside and you're like, oh my gosh, so that means I have to tell my customer it's going to be delivered in May. Yes, guys, we just had a different experience with the company who is supposed to deliver tiles. Again, remember, we are doing the remodeling, so we have lots and lots of horror stories, and the tiles have to be delivered from Italy. Yeah, it's a special kind of tile, blah, blah. But they said, you know what, realistically, we can ship them only in May. And we were like, oh, May, because in May, I was already thinking about, cooking that kitchen. That was my initial plan. But then she said, you know what, let me see what I can do for you guys. And I loved that. Even if she knew inside that probably she cannot do anything, she still said it. I thought it was extremely nice. Now, this is going to be tip number something else, so please keep that in mind. But please set realistic expectations with your customers, because you're only making it worse for your brand. Now, stop using COVID as an excuse. Yes, and we are teaching this to big brands and to ourselves and to everybody else. What I mean by that is, yes, there's all kinds of crises, but you can always say, we are so sorry, we cannot deliver this on time, we cannot deliver this service on time, but we are still going to be responsible for that, and we are going to, and then give them the ideas. You can say, we can deduct 10% from your current invoice. We can, if the shipment was paid, you can say, we will take that money and you won't have to pay for the shipment. If, anything, but please just remember this phrase. Remember that what isn't your fault still is your problem. Okay. You can, yes, it's not our fault that it's all kinds of crises, but it's still our problem, right? Because we have our customers with us, and they're here, so they want the problem solved. So please stop using COVID as an excuse, and be ready. Say, you know what? Everybody else is using COVID as an excuse. We are in the same situation, but we are when we don't deliver on time, when we have employee shortage because of blah blah, we still will keep this and this promise to you guys. And if we cannot deliver, here's what we're gonna do. Okay, does that make sense? Please tell me, because I feel like I'm here by myself on a radio. Okay, it only makes sense to Tim. Tim, you and I. Alicia says yes. Okay, guys. Okay, thank you so much. Let's see. Okay, next tip, give your people the tools. Yes, and it's very connected with that tool, right? It was that tip, right? Because if we stop using COVID as an excuse, I really feel bad for employees when they have nothing to tell the customer, or when they have no tools to make the customer happy. For example, I can't remember the name. I was trying to remember the name for you today, but I can't. So we were in New York City in this beautiful restaurant, but we were waiting for our food forever. And it wasn't a good situation because we were hungry. And when you're hungry, yeah. So I don't know about you, but when I'm hungry, I can go. I have to really control myself. So, and I was, and I asked a question. I said, guys, why does it take so long? And she says, well, we're so sorry, but you have to understand we are understaffed. Wrong answer, right? But I feel bad for her because it's not her fault. It's her manager who didn't tell her, you know what, if the food, we cannot deliver the food on time because we're understaffed, that makes sense. But here's what you can do. You can first set the right expectations, remember? And by the way, I'm using those examples like restaurants, beauty salon. Why? Because everybody has the same, we all have experience in those places, beauty salon and restaurants and dentists, for example, right? So I'm using those examples, but you can, I'm sure that you're all adult people, mature, educated, so you can translate that into your own business. So first you should have set it in a right expectation, right? So manager could have said, guys, it usually takes 30 minutes to prepare a steak. And before the customer asks you what's going on with their food, you should say that, and you should say, if the customer is not satisfied, you should say, take it off the bill, or give them a compliment, do something, but I'm going to give you the tool. Usually our employees are not providing the experience we want them to provide, not because they're bad people, and we will talk about that as well, but mostly because they don't have the tools. Okay, now another tip, make an extra effort. Yes, guys, if we want to be successful in 2022 and further, by the way, side tip, 2020 was the worst year for consultants, worldwide. Like, it was the worst year, right? If you're a consultant, you probably can relate to this. Now, for us, 2020 was the record year, and for our business. And why? I think it's solely because we are using what we are teaching. Okay, we are really strategic about using the stuff I'm teaching you today. So make an extra effort. Yes. Before, for some businesses, you're not used to making extra efforts. Like, for example, again, car dealerships, they will be so used now to this beautiful, life when they get the car and sell the car without even it touching the ground. They will get used, and they will, the muscle, the muscle that is responsible for going above and beyond for the customer will just get, idle, because it's so easy to get relaxed when you have great sales. So yes, make an extra effort. Remember this lady who told us that she would try to do something for us? We did not have any expectations, but she said, the tile lady, yeah. So she said, let me see what I can do for you. She actually called the manufacturer in Italy. She talked to them, and she said, I'm having some VIP customers. We are not VIP, by the way, yet, but I don't know why she had to say it, but it worked. So she said, I have some VIP customers. Could you please see if you could deliver faster? And they're delivering. They promised to deliver in March. So yes, it's a promise. We don't know. It's Italy, blah, blah, and sometimes they and it's all of us. It's not just Italy. Believe me, it's a global thing. But really. Yeah, so she made an extra effort, and now this is the small business. So now, even if they fail to deliver, we are with them. right? Why? Because we have the trust. Good. And the last step over here, partner with your competitors. You'll be like, what? Yes, partner with your competitors. I don't know, do any of you here already partner with your competitors? Because for some, that sounds like a crazy idea. Seriously, like a crazy idea. But some people are already used to this. Like, for example, again, restaurants. In some countries, you cannot get inside the restaurant if you're not vaccinated. You can only be outside. So some restaurants have decided that if they have customers coming in, customers who are not vaccinated, they are partnering with another restaurant that has an outside porch. And they will be like, we're so sorry, guys, we're really gonna get you inside because we have those regulations. It's really like, we would love to, but there's no way. We are partnering with this restaurant. They have a porch. And by the way, I'm going to, or a terrace, how you call it, I'm going to call them right now and book a table for you. Now, this is a wow service, and a business has to be, I call those businesses very confident businesses, right? Because if you really can do this, customers will remember you and not the competitor. And this is the great time because we don't know what's going to happen, right? So we need the support of our competitors as well. Now, the last thing here, funnels versus existing clients. I know that everybody is talking about funnels and leads and getting new clients this year and past year and the next year. I don't know about your goals for this year, but I would encourage you, unless you're a startup business, because if you're a startup business, of course, you need new customers. Now, unless you're a startup business and you already have your clients, existing clients, I'm going to encourage you to pay close attention to your existing clients. Why? What you see here on the slide is the money my company pays for marketing monthly. That's it. We don't pay more than $400. Now, you've heard that we are successful. We are crazy successful, by the way. But why we're so successful? It's only because we are having repeat businesses, and it's only because we are having referrals. It would not be, I'm not paying those crazy amounts of money for funnels to get customers in, and then the existing customers are just sitting and crying because I'm not paying attention to them. So this, I'm going to advise you, please become strategic about creating great relationships with your existing customers, and I'm going to show you how. Okay, so 2 priorities for this year. I don't know why I call it the next year. It's this year already. It feels weird. Okay, so anyway, yeah, it's this year already. 2 priorities, the companies, and this is based, by the way, not on my own understanding. I've done lots and lots of research, and this is based on all that research that comes together. And if you go to any conference on customer experience or success, you probably will hear the same. So this is not like, I'm creating something extra new to you. 2 priorities for this year for you would be company culture. Why? Because you saw the people are leaving, and the only thing that can hold them in your company is not the only thing, probably, of course, but like I'd say 80% right now is all about company culture, especially when people are working from homes. Ooh, that's a challenge. Number 2, customer experience. So these should be your 2 goals if you want to thrive, okay? Except for those tips that I gave you already. Now, when I say company culture, I'm going to show you now a great structure which you can use to start designing your company culture if you don't have it yet, okay? Because some people do, you do have the company culture, but it's per se there. It's just, the question is this the company culture that you want to be, or this is the company culture that just, was created by itself? When I say company culture, I have my own meaning, my own definition of it, and it's like super simple. I like to simplify stuff, even though, I teach those business people. I like to simplify stuff. So to me, corporate culture is, how do I feel at work every single day? Does anyone agree on that or not? Because really, like, how do I feel as an employee? How do I feel at work every single day? And yes, I'm sorry, guys, but it's about feelings. Like, you always, even in our personal lives, when we are in a bad relationship, we feel it, right? So it's the same for our employees. How do they feel at work every single day? And that is going to, comprise a corporate culture, but I'm showing you how you can use the milestones so that you can design that. And a good question is, why do we start with culture? Because personally, in our business, guys, we don't believe that you can just come and work with customers on the on the level of frontline employees. We believe that bad customer service is always a symptom. It means something is wrong inside the organization. Can I get an amen for that or not? Does somebody agree or not? Because it's like a mirror. Like a mirror, it reflects everything that is inside the organization. Okay. Does that resonate or not? Tim and I are like the best team today, right? Everything resonates with Tim. Okay, let's see how it goes. Yeah. Okay. So, you know, that grumpy employee of yours could be not just a grumpy person. You know, so easily if you're an owner, a founder of a company, you'd be like, oh, she's just a grumpy person. No. It could be just that the culture inside has made her or him grumpy. It could be that the person is feeling so bad inside the organization every single day that they of course they would look like that to your customers, right? I always say that, you know, be careful how you start the day of your employees in the morning. Oh, guys, like really, it's contagious. Leaders' attitude to employees is contagious because then it's you know, it contaminates the employees, and then employees treat your customers the same way. So when you come in the morning, if you come to the office or if you have the meeting, the Zoom meeting in the morning, make sure this is like the most supportive, encouraging, loving meeting ever. If you have to tell them something bad, tell that in the evening, okay? Because then they will have to serve your clients, and they need the energy, they need motivation. And if you started out the day for them on the low note, no, that's not going to happen. Okay, sorry, I'm talking too much. Are you even following me? Please tell me, are you even following all of this? Because I decided to, like, guys, I prepared so much for you. I'm looking at my clock and I'm like, oh, okay, so let's go. Now, why the feelings? Why the culture? Because first we start with the culture. Why? Because we all know, maybe not all of us, but again, me with my professional deformation, feelings usually change customer behavior, right? If you are an offended customer, that's a feeling. It's going to change your behavior. You're not going to buy anymore. That's your behavior. Or you will not refer anymore, or you will even write a bad post on Twitter, right? Okay, so feelings change customer behavior. We know about that. Now also feelings change employee behavior. So that's the same. If employees are feeling bad today, and then tomorrow, and then the second day, they're going to treat your customers the same way. Now, how do you operate that? How do you this word is like, it's killing me. How do you operationalize? I'm sorry, guys, this word is killing me. So, so how do you take care and make it a part of everyday's life of your employees? Okay. So what we actually do, we look at employee experience closely. And again, guys, this is gold. Like, this is gold. I'm telling you, companies are paying like crazy amounts of money to get this information. So pay close attention. What we do is those big names. We take each milestone of of employee experience, like hiring, orientation, 90 days, everything up to laying off or retirement, everything. Okay. Or when the person quits themselves. So we take all those milestones and we look at them from the perspective of, are we as a company creating the experience that we want our employees to feel, and then so that they can provide great customer experience? Does that make sense? I'm sure it does. Now, we take all those milestones and then we get together with our teams, especially with leaders. This is all for leaders, guys, because you know, it's easy if you have an HR person, but for some companies it's easier. For some companies it's even worse, because then everybody's like, you know, my people are not engaged. It's the job of the HR department to make them engaged. So yeah, but here we take every milestone, and with our leaders, we sit down and we ask ourselves, okay, so what are the things that we should quit doing? And you can write that down. What are the things that we should quit doing at this milestone? Let's say first day, okay? So this is the person's first day at work, okay? What things should we stop doing so that they don't feel like they're, you know, ignored, left out, Then the second question would be, okay, I'm sorry. The first question, what should we stop doing at this stage? Like what we are as a company or leaders doing so that, or even if you're one person and you just hired your VA, doesn't matter. What's the first day of your VA? What you should stop doing so that the VA doesn't feel disengaged, not happy first day, not motivated, does not know anything about the philosophy of your company, the mission, the vision, and all that kind of very important stuff. Okay, then you ask yourself, what should we start doing at this stage? What should we start doing so that the person feels engaged, motivated, accepted, blah, blah, blah. And then you ask yourself the third question, can we go above and beyond for our employee at this stage? What can we do above and beyond? And above and beyond does not mean that you have to, break the bank, really, no. It's little things that you can start doing for your employees to feel engaged, at least, I'd say at least at those milestones, okay? Because milestones are very important. Now, of course, ideal picture, but it's probably utopia, but ideal picture is for them to be feeling that every single day, which is not possible, okay? Life happens. Okay, now, again, to wrap it up, we had some trends that we have to, to know because they would help us to move forward. Now, number 2, I gave you some, do it tomorrow tips. Number 3, you start with the culture, and I gave you a structured way how you can work with the culture. I'm sure you can start those questions inside the company. If you get stuck, I'm going to leave you my details. Please contact me and I'll be happy to help. Now, once you're done with that, and some companies already have great culture. Do we have some companies here that have great culture already? Like you already have a great culture. So if you already have a great structured culture, you can skip this and you can go straight away to creating great customer experience. But yes, you can do that. But great culture first. Now, the definition of the experience, I have it here from my beautiful friend, John DeJulius. He puts it this way. He says, so everything that used to be a simple transaction, not interesting, boring, you take it, look at it, and you say, okay, how can we make it a memorable moment? Okay, and this could be an easy little thing. So I'm going to give you this example, which is, free of charge, almost. In November, I had 16 flights and 16 or even more hotels. I did not remember. Like, if you were to ask me which hotels did you stay in, I would not remember it. But there's one hotel that I clearly remembered. Why? Because of the funny thing. Every hotel has bath towels, right? Every hotel has a bathroom. Now, this lady, she has put down her name, and she says her name is Danielle. She's a cleaning lady, and she says, have a great stay. Now, I took that card, and on the back of that card, I said, Danielle, thank you so much for cleaning my room. And then she said something else. So we had a whole chat with that Danielle. I haven't even seen her in my life, but I feel connected to that, jewelry place. And guys, this is not Ritz-Carlton, this is jewelry. And I could remember that hotel. So when you think about how can we differentiate, it doesn't have to be expensive. By the way, I love, and I always look for low cost, high value stuff. Like, what's low cost but high value for our customers? Now, I'm going to skip other examples. Don't cry. I'm going to send this to you. This is me. I'm going to send it to you, but I want to make sure we have time to cover this system. Now, guys, this is the system that is, like, if you really pay close attention to it, if you put it into action, it boosts customer referrals and customers coming back and cross-selling. Like, it boosts it. Okay. Now, this is the customer experience cycle. Why the cycle? Because you want you want the cycle to work. You want the customer to come back, right? So it's not a customer journey map. That's a completely different tool that we use for marketing. This we use for creating experiences, mostly with our employees. Okay. So, I'm showing you this example from the beauty salon. Remember, I told you I'm going to be showing you very simple examples so that you can use them in your own business. Now, by the way, this one is like, it fits even into our business with several alterations, but it does fit. So this one will probably fit into some of your businesses. When we want to go to the salon, we phone or we message them, then there's a person that greets us. There's pre-service when we get coffee, we sit down. Then there's service, everything that comes after it. then checkout, follow-up, and relationships building. Now, I am intentional about having those two arrows in a totally different color. Why? Because if you look closely at the cycle, and if I were to ask you, if you had more time, I would have asked you, but if I were to ask you where usually the experience ends, you would tell me either checkout or follow-up. Now, think about your company. Where does usually experience ends? It could be person bought something, they paid for it, that's it. If you're having a long project with customers, then probably it's different, in a different way. Now, what I want you to pay attention to, and then on every stage, we go deep and we look at what are the defects, what could be the standards, and how can we go above and beyond? How can we create great experience at every stage? Don't do it by yourself. Please do it with your employees, because they have awesome ideas. Now, please pay attention to this stage, supporting relationships. That's the stage after the follow-up. Usually you would get a follow-up question like, did you like our service? Did you like our product? But that's usually it. Please pay close attention to the supporting relationships. Ask yourself, what are we doing to support relationships after the customer has paid, or after the service or product is already provided or delivered? What are we doing to support relationships? And if you're thinking we are sending out emails, wrong answer. I don't know about you, I'm unsubscribing from stuff like crazy these days, because my inbox is so cluttered that like yesterday, I tried to unsubscribe from one marketing guy and it took me 4 attempts and I'm still subscribed. Okay. So anyway, no, not about that, but mostly about care. Now, take a picture of that slide, please, now, because this is going to like really change you. Okay. The question is, how can we provide care at this stage? Like, for example, us, when I do a speech, right away after the speech, I send a bouquet of flowers, then a card, handwritten card, but that's not it. In 2 weeks, I'm going to call or email. Please change those channels. Call or email the person, and I would ask, could you please tell me what was the feedback after the speech? And then could you please tell me, do you see any impact from that speech or from the training? Doesn't matter. And, from the training, you would ask a bit later, like in a month, do you see any impact? Do you see any results? Please tell me. Now, mostly people would just do the workshop and leave, right? Because it's a one-time thing. It's not a long consulting project. So how can you provide care? Now, the person would say, and I'll be frank with you, sometimes people say, you know what, I'm so sorry, but there's no change, okay? The majority of them say, oh, they loved you, but when she says nothing changed, I don't just say, okay, thank you for telling me. We work zero risk. So I would usually say, okay, do you want me to give you the money back? And that's what we really do. I have never, I've suggested it probably, to be frank with you, like about, I don't know, like maybe 1% out of all the volume. But nobody has actually wanted the money back. They would say, no, you didn't realize it was great. It's just that I was expecting that, the whole company would change after one speech, which is of course not possible. So how can we provide care? So, but still, if I am somewhere in Italy, in Rome, and I see a great idea, I would, take a picture, send it to that customer, say, you know what, great idea, try using it in your business. So, but again, care. How can you care? How can you always say, does this thing work for you? Are you enjoying it? What are the results? But from the standpoint of care, guys, not from a standpoint of selling. Please, people know, if they know you, they know where you're from, which company you represent. You don't have to say, how are you feeling today? I heard you were sick. By the way, I have a new webinar. You can log in here. No, we don't do that. Okay. We just ask how you're doing. And then again, you have tons of professional and personal information. Like, what was it recently? Yeah, we closely look at our clients professionally and personally. So there was a guy who ran New York Marathon for the first time, and I took out the picture from his Facebook because, guys, there was like 750 pictures, of course. So I took one which was beautiful. I printed it out. I turned it upside down. I said the name, and I said, "Congratulations on your first marathon." Boom, boom, mail sent. You probably know that it cost me like nothing. Now, the effect of that was, it was everywhere, like in all his social media. Even I wasn't thinking about that. It wasn't my goal, but still. So I'm going to leave you with those questions. First, you have the scheme. once again, you have the cycle. If you're stuck with how to create the stages, again, message me, I'll help you. Now, please this year, be strategic about how can we support relationships after the checkout or after the sale was made, and not just emails, group emails, the same emails to everybody. Now, also take picture of this question, please, because it's a wonderful question that will give you lots and lots of ideas. What do we know about our customers that we can use through all the stages? And I know I have to like finish right now. Yes, I'll give you all the details, guys. Okay. And then how can we show care after the purchase has been made? Okay, so take picture of those slides, please, because I want you to discuss that with your people. Okay, this, we don't have time for that peripheral customer experience. I'll just tell you that this sign is a very bad sign. Please avoid this sign and this sign. Why? Because it's creating negatives subconsciously, it's creating negative experience. And then I'm going to leave you with those books. These are the books I read lots and lots on customer experience. So these are the most recent books that I've read, and I highly recommend them. Please take pictures of those. Okay, 2 seconds. I'm gonna move to the next because there is 3 more. These are like, believe me, I've read them, and I highly recommend those books. And then this one, this slide, I mean. Ready? Okay, because I want to leave time for your questions. Take a picture of all the Facebook, YouTube. By the way, on YouTube, I have little videos, and my purpose was to have the videos that will teach you and your employees, and people are enjoying those. They're telling me that they even discuss them with teams. If you guys can use them this way, I'll be happy, because I don't want it to be just there for no reason. Okay. If you want to book a 15-minute call, this is the QR code. I'm going very fast. I'm sorry. You can do that. And that's it. All the handles, but you just saw them. Okay, back to Tim.
All right. Well, thanks, Anastasia. That was great. We will have a recording out there, and you'll all receive a link to it. If some of those screens went too fast for you, you can go and watch the recording as many times as you want until you get your answers. We'll use the remaining time, a little bit of Q&A. Please type it in the chat room. I do see someone has their hand up, but please type your question in the chat room. That would be the best way to handle it. Our next SCORE webinar is tomorrow. Please join us at noon. Cliff Enico will be showing us how to do a business elevator speech, how to pitch your business to a variety of audiences. It'll be useful for anybody. Cliff is one of our biggest drawing speakers, really, and I hope to see you there tomorrow. Now, some of the questions that have come in, I don't know if you'd be able to understand them. Let's see. There was one back when you were talking about company culture, I believe, and the question is, what do we not do to do with early hiring? Did you mention early hiring?
I did not. So let me see what. Could you please? Yeah, could you please expand?
Maybe you could qualify or clarify that question for us.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Here's the question: how to have access to recording?
The access to recording will be emailed to you. It'll be a link in an email. Everybody will receive that along with their evaluations. What not to do after hiring, I guess, was the question.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I'll give you several things that usually companies do. So and you can just check yourself if you're doing that or not. So after you hire a person, some companies forget to send out a nice email saying, we're waiting for you if it's the office, in this office by this address, and the exact person is going to meet you in the lobby at this time, and will take you through, all the departments and whenever you have to go. So, but that's if it's in the office. Now, usually that's painful, but not as painful as just getting the person on the first day and telling them, okay, let me see, you're already here. Okay, well, what do you do? What do you do? What do we do with you? What do we do with you? Maybe, okay, Samantha, could you please come here and teach Mark, everything about the job? No, this is like the worst thing to do after hiring on the first day. And I don't know if that was a question after hiring on the first day, if you meant that, but that's the biggest mistake. Why? Because, psychologists say that the person is open and sensitive to all the information. You can call it conceptual information, philosophical information, visionary information on your company. They're open to that only on day 1 and 2. So if we start with operational or technical training right away, or training right, like, I know this question comes from you. So you being a dentist, you're probably like, okay, come here, look at everything I'm doing, and repeat after me. But you've lost a great opportunity to just get this person and say, okay, sit down with me. Here's what I want you to know about this company, and here's what's super extra important. This is our mission. By the way, we don't have time to talk about something we call service vision, something we use, and Chick-Fil-A uses, Starbucks uses. Because one of the methodologies I was certified upon is the methodology that Ritz-Carlton, Starbucks, Amazon, Lexus are using in their work. So they do something called service vision, which is known to each and every employee. So every single employee on the first day, they know what the company service vision is, and they can not only, like, it's one thing when they know it, but they also can give you examples on how to use it in their daily work. Like, even for us, we have our service vision. We have a small company, okay? Our service vision is to provide world-class service in every touch. Now, day number 1, I just had a new hire, by the way. Day number 1, she went through this. I sat down with her personally, and I gave her like 2 hours of what I want her to be doing in this company with employees and clients. Okay, so this is all conceptual information. This is all that, like, we pour her inside the company with all the values and all of that. But she heard it from me and not from Samantha, because you know how Samantha is happy when you're giving another person to her. So yeah, so I'd say this is a no. Then yeah, then there's many more, but this would be yeah, the most common mistake globally, by the way.
Great, thanks. Again, SCORE offers free individual counseling, so please use the link on the screen or visit our website and click Request a Mentor. Also, please fill out your evaluations that will be sent to you at the end of the webinar. On behalf of SCORE, I'd like to thank you all for attending today's SCORE live webinar. In closing, today, a big thank you to Anastasia for presenting today. Have a nice rest of your day, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.